Fighting crime is by no means an easy task, and for top cop Chester Williams, the buck stops at him. As Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams is seen as a man who is responsible for reducing crime. He was appointed to the post on January 9, 2019, and today Williams sees his first 2 years in office as a success.
It is a good feeling, and I know that under my leadership we have seen significant reduction in crime, and I'm not going to take all the credit for it. I will applaud the men and women of the Belize Police Department who are always there doing their utmost best to ensure that the mandate of the department is achieved.
Commissioner Williams is right. During his 2 years in office, there seemed to have been a significant decrease in major crimes. Murder, for example, saw a reduction of 23% with 102 murders recorded in 2020 compared to 134 murders recorded in 2019, 32 murders less. The months of April and June recorded 3 murders separately, the least amount of murders for 2020 in any given month. February and March recorded the highest. The Orange Rock District recorded the least number of murders with 3, and the Belize District recorded the highest, 59 murders.
And I can tell you that our most significant decrease was in the Belize District, particularly in San Pedro, which only saw 1 murder in 2020 compared to, I think, over 12 we had in 2019. And we also have in Belize City itself, within the precincts, I think Precinct 4 recorded no murder in 2020, and in 2019, Precinct 4 may have recorded something like 3 or 4 murders. In the Region 1 area, which is known as Southside, there was also decrease compared to the previous year. And so we are happy with the decrease. Yes, we wanted it to be more, but you know, we cannot control or we cannot prevent every crime from occurring.
But what might have helped in that regard is the COVID-19 pandemic and its effect. Rape, burglary, robbery, theft, and unlawful sexual intercourse, all major crimes, saw a significant decrease in 2020. These crimes typically happened in the night and required the perpetrator to be on the move. But the COVID-19 regulations prohibited movement to an extent, and the curfew prohibited citizens, including the criminals, from being out in public at night. But Commissioner Williams says that the reduction of major crimes is because of the invaluable work of his officers.
We have to give credit where it is due. COVID does not reduce or increase crime. Crime is reduced based on how we as a society, as well as the police, respond to it. Because the police cannot take all the credit at the end of the day, because the police are only one element that has to address the issue of crime.
91 of the persons murdered in 2020 were males, and 69 of the murders occurred in urban areas. 80 murders were committed with a firearm, and the motives for the majority of the murders were drug and gang-related and retaliation. The issue of crime is more pronounced in Belize City's south side, where multiple gangs operate. On the south side of the old capital, gang members are bred to be drug runners and killers. They are forced into the gang life, and if they resist, they become a target, like 24-year-old Raheem Gordon. He escaped the second attempt on his life last year.
I tell them people back here are something else. They're not jealous. Because my son not hang with them. They want big gang bangers in there. You know, no kind of gang wrong here. No kind of gang. No. As far as I know, no kind of gang.
Any beef with anybody, any other boys in the area?
No, not at all. Only the PIV got beef with my son for very reason I do not know. Kind of no gang bangers. None at all.
The issue of crime has to be addressed holistically. Key facets of society must meet and engage in a collaborative effort to address the root causes of crime. Addressing the issue starts within the family. There have been attempts, but most have been futile, and the gang culture within Southside Belize City continues to exist.
We must have the input of the society. We must have the input of other government agencies as well as non-government agencies. We must have the input of families, because families do have a significant impact on these young men who are out there hunting each other with a view to kill themselves. oftentimes the response that these young men get is not what would be more conducive to preventing them from becoming a gang member. And sometimes the environment within which they live itself is one that promotes one thing or encourages them to do one thing, but to be a gang member, unless they're so strong-minded and they're so determined that, you know what, even though I am from this gang-ridden area, I'm going to make a difference.
But being different in a gang-ridden area can spell trouble for a young man. But like the commissioner said, if they're serious, these young men can live different lives. An organization like the CYDP and its mentorship program can make it possible. And if that becomes a reality, the success will be reflected in the crime figures. Reporting for News 5, Hipolito Novelo.